I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's Sparky.
And Salty Chip.
Shout out to the big homie Chris.
I was gonna say that. You always beat me to it.
Go ahead.
I was gonna use your words. Shout out to the big homie, Christopher Culp. And look at this Tool shirt.
About the only time you'd ever catch me in a Tool shirt.
Yeah, this one looks good on you too. I like it.
Sure.
I like it a lot.
Also, shout out to the big homie Rylan. He's 17 today, man.
Happy birthday.
Rylan's my little brother. My little brother from another mother.
Ooh.
Alright, so shout out to all those ridiculous... We got pretty much the best community of all time, I think.
Obviously.
We after we did the whole dime bag thing, a bunch of people were messaging me, hey man, you alright? You okay? That's what's up. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yep.
The village coming through in the clutch. So I appreciate y'all. You guys are very generous. Also, shout out to just everybody. Whether you sent us a shirt or not. It's cool. We don't take it for granted. We think it's awesome. Okay. So it's Ladies Week.
It is.
We've got Epica. This is Epica. Crimson Bow and Arrow. I think this is on the Attack on Titan EP. Epica vs. Attack on Titan.
Yep.
So this is for my son because he's really big into this stuff.
They all are, but he's particularly a fan.
Yeah, and he was telling us, you gotta do Epica, you gotta do Epica.
How come he's not in on this review?
I don't know. Maybe we should get him in on the review.
All right, pause.
Pause.
All right, we're back.
We are
I'm
back.
Vin.
You're not Vin.
I mean, I'm sorry. I'm excited. Okay, you go first.
Let's just do it the proper way.
Go ahead,
the
go ahead.
way that God intended.
Oh my gosh.
I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
And I'm Dory.
Alright, so, yeah, so I guess I'm looking at this and I'm like, this sounds like Attack on Titan or something.
It is.
So because I'm a bad parent, my kids are big fans of Attack on Titan, so we've got Dory, who's the Attack on Titan expert. He's going to help us with breaking down the lyrics in this song.
In Japanese as well.
Go ahead, speak up.
I also know the Japanese translations and stuff.
He's learning Japanese.
I don't
Remember
think
we told you?
I don't think they speak any Japanese in this song, Your Grace.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. I can say the word for Crimson Bow and Arrow.
You gotta speak louder. Say hi in Japanese.
Konnichiwa.
What's the word for Crimson Bow and Arrow in Japanese?
Goran no Yumiya.
Okay.
I can write if you like.
If I like. Alright. You're a weird kid. Alright. Hit play. Let's go.
Alright. And we're up.
Okay, that was Epica. I recognize some of this stuff, like who's Jaeger?
Jaeger is the father of Aaron Jaeger, who's the main protagonist.
Okay, so Jaeger, so Aaron Jaeger is the one that just is wild and he doesn't think. And
yeah, that one.
He just does.
He's the one that turns into a
Titan,
Titan.
the 15-meter Titan.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
Anybody that hasn't seen the show,
Sorry.
Dory just told you. Okay, so yeah. How come my guy didn't get any love? What's his name? Levi.
Levi.
The one that always
Has his
has
eyes
his hands.
like that and
yeah.
his hand is...
Yep, and in his coat.
So okay, so what?
So Annie loves.
I was gonna say your beloved's not in here.
Well, it didn't say like you can't save her or something like that.
It's the devil. It's from the devil.
What?
Yes.
Where? What part?
Stand up and fight for their demise. We won't surrender now. Enthrone the devil in disguise. You can't defend her. That's Annie, isn't it?
Oh.
It is.
She's a devil
They
in
call her
disguise.
the devil in this song.
She's not the devil.
She's absolutely a devil.
In
Okay,
disguise.
She's trying to get back to her father.
so what's at the expense of all humanity? Okay, so
All humanity.
what's
Oh my gosh.
what's the premise of this show?
No, to beat the Titans and win our freedom. The goal outside the walls. The whole thing of the Server Corps.
So it's a story where humanity is being attacked by these giants, by these titans,
Yeah.
and these giant, they're terrible. They eat people alive. All this terribleness. It's a pretty terrible show. That's why I say like I'm a bad parent for allowing them all to watch it.
Honestly.
But the kids are very obsessed with the movie, with the show. And you're currently reading the manga for it, right?
Yes, actually, funny story. Next time we go to the library, I have full access to the season 3, you can call it, because season 2 ends in volume 10, which is the last volume I have in my bag.
Well,
Oh boy.
it's
So
the
here-
Lost Girl.
come on.
So
spoiler.
here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna get one volume. I'm gonna get volume 11, Lost Girls volume 1 and 2. Then I'm gonna know the true reason Annie killed those people.
Boy.
Okay, so humanity's faced with this horrible trial, and you know it's our job to fight them back, but they seem unstoppable, these giants. So we'll just start from the top. What did you think of the music? What do you think of the musicianship?
I like how they stuck with the familiar tune and stuff.
Because this is a theme. Isn't this a theme song for the show?
This is the theme song for the show.
Do you think they did a good metal version of it, or?
Yeah, pretty good, except for the Devil in the Skies part.
No, forget about the words. Just
Forget about
focus
the
on
words
music.
for now. We're talking about the metal.
Yeah,
Did you
it's
think?
It's pretty good. I actually like the metal version. I was hoping there'd be some metal version out there.
Yeah. So the metal version's good. It would inspire you to go kill some giants.
I like the Japanese version better. It's pretty because it's all in English, but I'll make it in English.
You'll make do with English.
Hi. What does she know us?
I don't know what you said, and neither does our audience. We got one person that lives in Japan. He knows what you're saying. So what did you think of the music?
Oh, I liked it. To be honest with you, I didn't know that this is a metal version of that song. Like, it sounded the same to me.
It sounded the same to you.
Yeah.
It sounded
It basically sounded the same to me. I mean,
That basically sounded the same.
it is essentially.
No, you
the
heard
same.
the guitars, you heard the drumming.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
basically the same to me.
Mere bag of shells. Okay, so here we go. Does anybody know what that Latin is up top? Nos rapti sumos atamen
Probably it's the
raptores.
exact same thing.
It's a question.
Yeah.
I know that's will we take something or be taken by something, I think is probably what it means. I don't know. It's a complete guess. Nos is
Maybe there's something
we.
about restores. Raptors.
Raptor. No, raptor means to take.
Oh, okay.
Like rapture.
Oh,
It's to
okay.
catch away or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's will we take or be taken, I think is what it's.
Oh, okay.
It's probably it's a complete guess. If you know any Latin,
Let us know.
nos rapti sumos
Bro, put it in
tamen
Google
raptores.
Translate. Just put in Google Translate.
We have no time for that. in the
We
middle
don't
of
have the
review.
time. Okay, so here we go. On to the battle. Here we are, the hunters. Red as fire, crimson bow and arrow.
What do they mean red is fire? In their hearts, or?
Ooh, I don't know. I guess it's the blood. If the crimson's supposed to be the blood and the bow and arrow, I guess.
Yeah, but they haven't fought yet.
We are the hunters. Red as fire. But maybe the, you know, the
think the
will,
inside, right?
the rage. Raw.
Yeah.
Aaron's spirit.
What's interesting on Vin and Sori, my color's red, your color's blue. I don't know if anybody caught that yet, but that's what it is.
Yes.
Okay, waiting for the storm won't help you. What the heck does that have to do with the
Yeah, what storm?
I have no idea. You should really do the Japanese version and compare it to this. It's very sharp.
Just the will to fight can change you. Clean your weapons, blow the dust off. Fear and prayers will never save us. So this is interesting. This was mentioned a few times. Like, prayer's not going to do anything for us. We have to fight.
That was actually the song.
Remember that remember there was like at night they supposedly got weaker.
Yes, and if you got a castle, that was the whole big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there was a storm, wouldn't that essentially make it dark, and then that would give them a chance? But then remember, all of a sudden it didn't matter. It was night. They could still come through it. So maybe that's what it is.
Probably.
But it's basically you have to take your fate into your own hands.
Yeah, because
you can't wait for nature to save. You can't wait for anything natural to save you because that's a storm.
Right.
And you can't have anything supernatural to save you. That's why your prayers won't save you. And so I mean, aside from the show, like everybody in life is faced with these giants that you're afraid of, and you can decide to attack them head on, or you can wait for some natural or supernatural solution to solve the problem.
Right. Well, one of the kids was saying there is no God in the Titan world.
Isn't that Levi?
Is that?
Or were you saying that? There's no divine being in that world?
I didn't say anything about that.
Well, one of the kids has said
church is mocked by Hajime. I've noticed that. They make them sound like, people perceive Christians being, like, too good, like, and just let's have some fun a little bit, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Basically, like, all the time the same thing. How dare you insult the walls are okay. Yeah, have you noticed that? How they, like, low-key insult Christians, and how the church just randomly knows something that we're supposed to know, but we don't. The church does. Like, we get this low-key feeling all of us hate the church in the book.
Well, yeah. I mean, welcome to the world, my friend. People don't like us.
No, I'm just saying. They think as though the walls are the gods. That's what they say.
Well, I was going to say, isn't there a religion? The religion is that the walls are like divine or sacred, right?
Yeah, but they're made out of titans.
Yeah, I was going to say, but there was a face in the wall.
They're all made out of titans. That's how they're impenetrable.
So the wall that keeps the titans...
Annie destroyed them, mind you. Annie did that.
The demon. So the wall that keeps the titans out of these giants, that's keeping the humans safe, is made out of titans.
Yeah.
There's another spoiler. Have a great day.
So that's weird.
So you picked up on the anti-religious imagery in the story.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
It's pretty obvious. It'd make the church look crazy.
One of the other kids didn't. They just said, there's no God in the Titan world. They just didn't think there was any existence of God.
Well, that would still work. I mean, the religious people are always perceived as maniacs.
Yeah, I remember
They're always
that.
crazy and irrational.
Like the whole city's breaking down and they're in there doing their thing.
Yeah, when Annie came in and destroyed their religion.
Yep.
Annie also did that as well.
Yeah, this is a girl he's in love with.
I'm in love with Annie. Everyone thinks that she's a bad person.
So what do you think about that concept, though, that prayer, if you have something in your life that you're afraid of, go attack it. Don't sit there and pray about it. Like, what's your mindset on that?
You're half right, half not. I mean, you should obviously, talk to God and stuff like that. I mean, God's not just chilling up there and not caring about you. But you didn't just sit around all day all the day and then wait for something bad to happen, and then you're gonna go fight. Like, imagine if the Survey Corps did that. Like, that would be the end of it.
If the what?
Survey Corps.
Survey Corps. If they did that, then everything would be...
Yeah, just a quick thing, just a quick empowerment, and then go out there with your ODM gear and then slay them.
Yeah, but isn't one of the themes in the show that not to rely on God, but to rely on your human...
Yeah, but that's not okay.
But the show is really about humanism, isn't it? Is everything the ultimate goal of the show is to
eradicate the Titans and take back their world. To cramp these cruel walls
for humanity.
Yeah.
But that's the big theme of the show is humanity.
I still haven't understood why. Well, we're seeing it from the view of the humans, but why shouldn't we want the Titans to kill the humans? Maybe the Titans were there first.
Actually, Ryan and Berthel did say that they were on a mission to destroy humanity, and the year 850, they said those Titans, they were, how they did the whole thing, so those Titans, after the humans, because the humans were there first, and randomly the Titans appeared, and we discovered from multiple sources in the book, by the way, in the anime, that the Titans are being controlled by humans. By human beings, all of them. Which leads me to wonder, why are some of them seen seemingly dumb and not intelligent, but the ones that can transform to human to Titans, like Annie, Ymir, and Aaron, are smart,
intelligent. Right, because that's the other thing is the Titans are big and
dumb,
big and powerful, but they're also extremely stupid. So, like, did you ever? I had in one of our fireside chats, Zeus was talking to us about why pray. If God has a will, what's the point of praying? Have you ever like been stuck between prayer and action?
Oh yeah. I always feel that way.
Well, no, talk to the people.
Before, like, I would be like, pray about it and move. And now I feel like I'm kind of stuck between, like, I want action, and it's hard, actually. I'm having a harder time to pray. I really want just action. But, you'll always say to me, like, you go so fast that you're not accomplishing anything because, you go really fast and you knock over the water. Now you gotta clean up the water. And then you knock over that thing because you're going so fast. But if I just slow down and, like, whatever. But I think it's the same thing probably just with my life. It's probably, I gotta slow down, take a little bit more time to pray instead of aggressively trying to attack everything.
What about you? Are you an action guy or are you a prayer person?
Well, I mean, when I see that, I think of taking action, but I don't know what I have to do in that situation. I understand I would want to take action, training and stuff, but I don't know what I actually do.
Well, I'm not talking about like the show. I'm just saying in your life, are you an action person or are you a prayer person? Or are you a prayer plus action person?
I think I'm more of an action person. Like, everyone like insults like the kids, something like that. I immediately go on with that fist, like, and so it's like, wait, you're a Christian. And I was like, okay, go stop for a little bit and take control of myself.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting question about like the.
What about you?
Well, I'm thinking it through. Because I'm not really an action person. I'm more of a strategy person. So anytime I'm in a situation, I'm always like, okay, what's the best strategy here? So I stop and that's where you and I like, because I'll stop and think through like, what's the best action? But
if we're going to do something, I want a strategy. I want a plan. Right. But if we have something to do and there's a deadline, like stopping what we're doing, like the night we were doing the tool lateralis thing, that was a freaking nightmare. Because I'm like, I've got to edit this. I have hours of editing. You're like, let's just stop now and think about our plan. I'm like, what's there to thinking what? I didn't say it, but I was thinking, what's there to think about? Like, we have to edit. Like, and I was like, okay. It's like, put my stuff down. I'm like...
Oh boy.
You should not pull the end of this.
That's why it says blinded by trust in the twilight zone. I think that they're talking about those religious people. Because they're like in the twilight zone. They're not.
Yeah, they're all hidden away in Washina, which is like the interior of the interior. There's a third wall in there, so it's safe, very safe.
The interior of the interior, which sounds much like the Holy of Holies and the old, which is where all the special people went in the Old Testament. So it definitely seems to be a lot of like humanism against religion and faith. Like you can't really have a lot of faith. You gotta take up your human ingenuity and go for it. But I think for me that God, there's a story with Gideon, and Gideon is this really fearful guy, and the Midianites are attacking. Shout out to the big homie Aaron Ra. He was saying that the Midianites got massacred. They didn't. They were actually oppressing the Israelites. But so anyway, Judges 6, where God shows up to Gideon and says, you gotta go fight these people. They're oppressing your people. You gotta go fight and defend your land. And Gideon goes, I'm too weak, blah blah blah. And then God turns to him and goes, go in the strength that you have. Am I not sending you? So it's like.
Starts the kids a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, you read that story then?
It was stuff about Gideon, yeah.
Yeah. So he says to him, go in the strength that you have, am I not sending you? Which was really interesting because, God did tell him, pray about it. He just said, all right, it's time to go fight. It's time to go do jihad. Go take care of business. And then there was another one with Joshua where they went into the city and they got completely wrecked. And Joshua goes into the tent and he starts praying and praying and praying, and God shows up and says, get off your face, stop praying. you got something that you need to deal with, so get up and act. But there are other times in the Bible where God says stop acting and pray. So I think that the world that these folks are presenting, where it's like this strict dichotomy between action and prayer. if you really looked in the Bible, sometimes God shows up and says, stop praying, it's time to act. Another time God says, stop acting, it's time to pray. And you really don't know when you're supposed to do A or B unless you're like really in tune and like hearing God's voice.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise, you know, most of us are going to default to whatever. Some of us are just, you know, lazy and try to hide that behind religion.
I'm praying. Yeah.
I'm praying.
Yeah, I heard that before.
And then some of us are just like have zero faith whatsoever, are basically deistic in our Christianity, and so we just do action instead of prayer. So this is about stand up and fight. Lasting peace and abandon illusion. Yikes. So lasting peace is an abandoned illusion. So I don't give away too many spoilers, but in the universe of Attack on Titan, is peace ever really possible?
No, they even call when they're in the walls uneasy peace. That's what they called it, even when they're in the walls, because they're still like groping out there. And Volume 1, Aaron's like, oh, we want to only trap in this cage anymore. We're going to go out there, we're going to take back our land. Everyone's like, oh, what if the garrison's just lying around drinking, and the garrison's in charge of protecting the walls, make sure that stuff stays safe within the walls as far as the walls go. So they're like, why are you just sitting here drinking? They're basically drunk. They were drunk. They're playing cards. What's going to happen? It's like, oh, if something happens, we'll just get your ODM gear and fight Titans. Like, they weren't prepared at all. They just were drinking. So he was like, oh, they were expecting an emergency. Then a Clothland came and kicked down the wall. Then everything was a big emergency. They should have been prepared. So it wasn't really uneasy. It was just like so on the edge.
On to battle. Here we die as heroes. Red as fire. Hearts will bleed to death. Is that the end of the song?
Yeah, it's the end of the song.
God almighty.
It's very encouraging.
So
happy ending.
Yeah, so it's this sort of, you know, Shogun, you know.
I like at the end
warrior.
where it says, it's still, I'm sorry, I'm always interrupting.
No, you're good. Go.
You know where it says, here we die as heroes, red as fire, hearts will bleed to death. So I think at the beginning, I think now they're bleeding, and that's why they're red, but they're red as fire. I think that it's also, they still
that motivation.
that was still in there. Yeah, it wasn't
fire.
losing all of that and then dying in just complete defeat. Like, it's like, fight to the end. You know, because a lot of times they'd like pull somebody else out of the mouth and jump in and say, you know what I mean? Like, they had a lot of heart. So
there's a lot of romanticization of death in this. Like, what do you think about it? These, you know, like when these guys die in like a heroic way? What do you think?
Thinking, wow, okay, you have to accomplish the mission with all these lives. For example, the Trust operation. That took a lot of lives, including Margaret, which is John's favorite character. He's all broken up about that. He's still talking about the last episode. Oh, Margaret can have died. It's kind of getting annoying, but it's still pretty sad. So I just think, wow, all these lives be sacrificed just so you can plug up one wall. And then I'm thinking, wow, the citizens could have been killed. Then thinking, man, if the citizens would have been killed, I don't know if it was fair or not, because the server cores were available in the petty citizens. And then it was like, oh, at the cart. The guy at the cart was blocking up the evacuation. So people left out that guy's cart. Remember that? You had the car.
There's a guy that was blocking the evac zone with a cart. Who came down there? The girl
Mikasa, yeah.
Mikasa came down there and took care of it.
I don't generally like her, but that was pretty good of her.
But people.
I don't like Mikasa. Yeah.
But in warfare,
fingers and mocked her as she was falling.
Oh.
In warfare, people have died over hills.
I mean, over hills.
Like literally hills. Like, we're gonna take that hill, and the bad guys are up on that hill, and you gotta.
Hill.
Yeah.
It's just about advancement.
And it's about advancing. So the next place you gotta go is that hill. So you had to go up there and handle your business, but they didn't want to give up the hill, so you had lots of people dying over a hill. You ever heard me say I'm not going to die on that hill?
No, not really. But now I said it, kind of sounds similar.
Yeah, I say it all the time. So I mean, this is kind of like your guys' exposure to the realities of war. Like, this really happens. People do selfish stuff like that, and a bunch of civilians get killed and all that. Would watching Attack on Titan inspire you to become like a warrior, to like go to battle and war and join the army? No?
No, just to fight Titans. I don't want to fight humans.
You want to fight Titans? Why don't you want to fight humans?
Because humans are smart and they have guns. What?
The guns wouldn't have helped the fighting the Titans, though. I don't think would have even stopped them.
If they shot them in their neck, they have to be really precise because remember the humans are controlling Titans. If they shot them in their neck or their, but that'd be really precise with that.
Yeah, what he's saying is he doesn't want to go up against humans because they're smart and there's a chance he could die.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So you want the other people to go to war for you?
Yeah.
You want your uncles to go and do jihad for you. You want to stay home and you're comfortable.
Yes.
And shoot YouTube videos.
So I stay with you guys. You want to go overseas for a war? No, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna occur.
Okay, so.
Not gonna occur.
So that's interesting. What do you think the ultimate lesson is on Attack on Titan? Like, in one sense, if you could sum up what they're trying to communicate, what do you think it would be?
The humanity show is one.
Yeah, I think Attack on Titan is like an ode to humanism.
Did you guys watch Death Note?
Not yet. I feel like
it's the same guy.
Whoever wrote this was like a disciple of Voltaire. It's like very, very, very like humanistic and very explicitly anti-Christian, anti-religious. Is there even one good guy in the religious, in the cult? No, not one good guy in that religious.
It's worshipping the walls. They have these necklaces, and 3 necklaces. They turn out into the faces of the. And did you notice that when at the beginning of the theme song, the wall Sheena gets destroyed?
Right.
That's the safest wall. It's just destroyed. And then it says, "They are the food. We are the hunters."
Yeah. All right. Well, what do you give the song?
I would give it a 7.
A 7.
Yes.
What about you?
6, 7.
It's a 7 for me. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was good. You know, it took the themes of the song. I mean, it wasn't really original either because I'm like, dang, this is a theme song.
Well, I think it's supposed to be a cover.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think there's enough in here to where they could say it's original. But it's a 7 for me. 7 for you?
Yeah.
7 across the board. 7.
7. Historical moment.
Can we make a 7? Arms like this.
I can say nana.
There we go.
Is that 7?
Japanese for 7.
Alright. So, do you know how to say out in Japanese? Or how do you say goodbye in Japanese?
I still want to say I'm off with test in my notebook.
Do you know how to say goodbye in Japanese?
Sayonara.
Oh, that's right.
When he says, you're like, oh yeah.
Sayonara. I know that. I know that word.
Ra. Should I have the ra?
Do they do some hand thing?
I think they just bow.
Vin out.
Sorry out.
Dory out.
Are you gonna bow or? Gone.